The first suitcase was discovered just after 5 a.m. A station custodian noticed an old black suitcase sitting beneath a bench on platform 9. It had no luggage tag, no owner nearby, and looked as though it had been there overnight. Assuming it had been forgotten, he wheeled it into the station office. When security opened it, they immediately evacuated the terminal. Inside were human remains. The victim was identified later that afternoon as a 37-year-old accountant who had disappeared 9 days earlier after leaving work. Police searched every camera in the station. They found footage of a person in a hooded raincoat wheeling the suitcase onto the platform at 3:18 a.m. The person's face was never visible. They left the suitcase beneath the bench, walked calmly out of the station, and disappeared into the rain. 3 months later, another suitcase appeared. Different station, same city, same time of morning. Again, the victim had been reported missing days earlier. Again, the person delivering the suitcase wore a hood, gloves, and clothing that concealed every identifying feature. Detectives realized they were hunting a serial killer. A task force was formed. Investigators compared the victims. Different professions, different neighborhoods, no shared friends, no common employer, no obvious connection. Then a forensic analyst noticed something unusual. Every victim had used the commuter rail system within 24 hours of disappearing. Detectives spent months reviewing thousands of hours of station footage. One person appeared repeatedly, not the hooded figure, a middle-aged man carrying an ordinary canvas messenger bag. He never interacted with the victims. He was simply nearby, sometimes buying coffee, sometimes reading a newspaper, sometimes standing alone on the platform. His face was clear, but despite releasing his image nationwide, no one identified him. No family, no co-workers, no neighbors. It was as if he existed only inside train stations. Then a fifth suitcase was found. This one contained a train ticket purchased only hours before the victim disappeared. It was the first real clue. Police traced the purchase to a station kiosk. The machine's camera captured the buyer, not the victim, the same unidentified man with the messenger bag. At last, investigators had something solid. The image was sharper than any before. They identified a small scar near his left ear and a distinctive ring on one hand. Thousands of tips poured in. More than 80 men were interviewed. Every lead ended the same way. Not him. The investigation stalled once again. Years passed. No more suitcases appeared. The killings stopped as suddenly as they had begun. Then, during the renovation of an old railway locker room, construction workers discovered another abandoned suitcase hidden behind a false wall. Inside were personal belongings from several victims. Wallets, keys, photographs, wedding rings. DNA confirmed they belonged to people connected to the case. But there were no fingerprints. No usable DNA from the person who left them there. Just one receipt. It was for a cup of coffee purchased at the station cafe on the morning after the first victim disappeared. The cafe had closed years earlier. The surveillance recordings had long since been erased. That receipt became the investigation's final clue. It led nowhere. Today, the suitcase murders remain one of the country's most infamous unsolved cases. Commuters still pass through those stations every day. Most never notice the small memorial plaque near platform 9. It bears the names of the known victims. At the bottom is a final line added by the detectives who spent years chasing a killer they never found. Someone carried every suitcase through a crowded station, and no one remembered seeing them.